Welcome into the Victorian Writing Room here right off the lobby bar at the beautiful Greenbrier Resort. I'm Cam Huffman, Director of Public Relations here at America's Resort, and this is episode 10 of the Brierchat podcast. Thank you for joining us. We're joined today by Stacey Miller, who is the Special Events and Activities Director here at America's Resort, and we're going to talk about several different things, but the focus of this episode is going to be on America's birthday here at America's Resort. And 4th of July has always been a huge time here at the Greenbrier. It's always been an eventful thing over the years, and it's a great place to celebrate, and we have a lot of wonderful things planned for this year. But before we get into that, let's just learn a little bit more about you. Just tell us about yourself, where you grew up, some of your interests, and how you ended up at the Greenbrier.
Well, sure. Well, first, thanks for having me today, Cam, and talking about what we're doing here at the resort moving forward with the holidays. But yeah, so I grew up in our adjoining county of Monroe. Lived there my entire life. I just left briefly as I went to school and then came back. I was lucky enough to start working at my father's business, and I just got to that point in my life where I thought, I want to grow. I want to do just a little bit more and see what I can do. And there was in the paper, there was an opening for a banquet supervisor here. Never had fine dining experience in my background or repertoire at that time, but Gail Lanick took me under her wing, and I became the banquet supervisor here, and then I've just worked my way up. I am knocking on 9 years here at the hotel, so you can definitely say the Greenbrier is a career opportunity. It's not just what you would consider a job. There's definitely a lot of opportunity for growth here and different opportunities for a career. And so I've just, went in from one role to the next, from food and beverage to the event and sales side. And now here we are planning the family's 4th of July and all of their activities and other things that incorporate with that. And it's been a fun ride. I've had a great time, and I've learned a lot.
You brought that up. I think that's an interesting point. I think if you kind of polled different team members around the Greenbrier, most of them would tell you wherever they started is not where they ended up, and they probably didn't know how their journey was going to go. But as you said, it's a great way to begin a career that could really lead anywhere.
Absolutely. That's an absolutely true statement. There's many people that I talk to here that have started in one department and then ended up into another one and had a wonderful, successful life and career here.
Well, tell us a little bit about Stacey on a personal level. Tell us about your family and what you like to do outside of work.
Well, Stacey and her family, we've just went past a milestone in my personal life. Our child graduated high school. I'm very proud of him. He's now on the way to Davis and Elkins for his pre-med career. So he's done very well for himself, and wish him nothing but the best of luck. Stacey likes to relax and read on her time away from the hotel, and I love to ride horses. That's my favorite thing to do in my pastime when I'm not here at work.
Great thing to do here at work as well, too, is we have some wonderful horses.
We do. We have a great equestrian program here at the hotel.
Well, let's jump into 4th of July now then. And, we just talked about America's Resort dating back to 1778. So we're almost as old as the country itself.
You're exactly right.
But it's a wonderful place to celebrate the holidays. The summertime is always special at the Greenbrier, with always a lot of wonderful events planned around July 4th.
Yes, it is. So what we've done is we've been celebrating in the 4th of July here, just like you said, for many, many years. However, we've incorporated just a few new things this year to keep our families that do come back each year, just to give them a little bit of something special. So even if it is from our traditional wine tastings that we have, or our barbecue up on Kate's Mountain, where the beauty up there is absolutely so serene. It's gorgeous to look at. We have fireworks on Tuesday, the 4th of July. We always stay in tune with the 4th of July date, no matter if it's a weekend. You can always count on the hotel putting off a beautiful display in the sky on the 4th of July. We have art classes here. We have crafts for our kiddos, our adventure zone, and then on top of the 44 activities that the hotel also offers in itself.
Well, I kind of was looking at the schedule a little bit, sort of broke it down into categories. And when you talk 4th of July, I think one of the memories that comes to mind for anyone, and for me personally, I remember my parents always had a big barbecue party on 4th of July. We played games, did a lot of things, but it always kind of starts with food, and we have some great food events planned for the 4th of July, don't we?
Yes, we do. So we have actually a couple of farm-to-table events, and what that is it's vegetables and herbs and things that were grown here on property in our garden. And our executive chef and our culinary team have put together a masterpiece of a recipe for that to come out and enjoy. And you actually get to eat in the middle of our Greenbrier garden, which is quite unique.
Yeah, if you haven't done that, the Greenbrier Creekside Gardens, make sure you try to add that to your list when you visit the Greenbrier. That's probably a whole podcast episode on its own, but it really is a beautiful setting out there. Has the the big farm table going through the middle of the garden there, and you can kind of hear the Howard's Creek running while you're eating, and the sounds of nature. It's really a beautiful place to have dinner.
It is. Our family that owns the hotel, the Justice family, have put in a beautiful pergola down there that you can sit under, and it's open. And just as you said, you hear the creek in the background. You're in the middle of a golf course. You have a cabin in the background. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Then the other food event, the barbecue event, as you mentioned, up at Capes Mountain Lodge, and you said the setting up there is sort of a rustic setting with a beautiful view of the valley, and it really kind of fits that barbecue theme.
Yes, it does. And our culinary team has, again, put in a great menu for that evening. So you absolutely have all of the sights and smells of 4th of July as you remember it as a child.
Can't have food without beverages, and we have some great beverage events planned for the 4th of July as well.
That's exactly right. We have some mixologies planned as well as some wine tastings. Our cellar master as well as our beverage leaders have put together some great wine tastings, the colorful blue and white cocktails to put together that not only look like 4th of July, but they also taste like them as well.
Absolutely. And then the other part of my picnics I remember growing up as a kid are the games played out on the lawn. We have some sporting events as well going on with the 4th of July programming.
Yes, we do. We have Bourbon and Birdies as well as Tie One On. Bourbon and Birdies is down at our golf course, so you can go down there and have a little bit of beverages as well as hitting birdies with our golf professional team. They're absolutely wonderful.
Then I know we have croquet tournaments, family croquet tournaments, family pickleball tournaments.
Yes.
A lot of opportunities to get out and get active, and I believe there's multiple 5K runs as well.
There
right?
is multiple 5K runs. Yes, they start at the north end. Josh Beveridge will be facilitating those with us, and he does a phenomenal job. 8 o'clock in the morning at the north end. Go have a great time with that.
Get up early and be there for sure.
That's right.
You also mentioned some of the craft events. We have the Art Alive that we have a lot of times on the weekends and in different occasions throughout. But one that kind of caught my eye was the patriotic barn quilt decorating. Tell us a little bit about that.
So that's an activity that we brought back that we haven't had for a few years. And if you'll remember when you were driving through the countryside, you would see on the side of all kinds of barn in our rural area that you would have these white squares that had all types of designs painted on them. And I thought, you know what, wouldn't that be fun to bring that back? So we do have a nice patriotic theme for our guests to come in and paint a barn square to take home with you, and you can put it on the side of your house or inside, wherever you'd like.
Great keepsake to remember your trip to America's Resort.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And then with the 4th of July look on it, you know exactly when you did it.
When it comes to crafts too, the other main event is the golf cart decorating event, which will lead into something we'll talk about more later. But it's a chance to get your golf cart decorated up for the parade and give it that 4th of July look.
I have to be honest, I think that is my favorite activity that we do the entire 4th of July holiday for two reasons. One, you get to see the creativity of our guests, and you never know what they're going to come up with. And we do want it to be as loud and flamboyant as it can possibly be, because this is going to lead into the parade that we'll talk about in a minute. But this is truly a family event where it doesn't matter if you have 8 people in your family or 2. You can all enjoy doing it together, and it puts a smile on everyone's face.
Yeah, and then let's go right into that parade.
Let's do that.
You decorate your golf cart. You get to drive it through the Greenbrier property along with a lot of other things, and people kind of line the streets and have a lot of fun with that parade, don't they?
Yes, they do. So last year we brought the parade on property, and we also have another aspect to the 4th of July parade I'd like to bring up as well in just a moment. Yes, we start at the outdoor tennis facility, and then we go up through our road to the main circle and back around, and then we go down to the golf clubhouse, and we have all of our guests lining up. We throw out candy. We have EMS. We have the state police here. It's a fun time. It's truly a fun time. And something that we incorporated last year for our inaugural parade was Mr. and Mrs. Greenbrier. So that is how the hotel recognizes a male and female member of the hotel staff that has went above and beyond for that year. And we just want them to know how much we appreciate their hard work and dedication.
Do we know who Mr. and Mrs. Greenbrier are yet, or is that a surprise?
That is a surprise for this year, yes.
We'll have to check out the parade so you can learn who that is. And another big aspect is we always try to incorporate families as much as we can and make sure families have something to do. There's scavenger hunts that families can do together, and there's a family entertainment show as well, right?
There is, yes. Joseph Young, who has become a staple here at the hotel, he is a wonderful family magician. He's been here for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we brought him back on the 4th of July because he is so charismatic. Our families and everyone loves him, and he does truly put on a great show. Our scavenger hunts, they do begin in the theater. It's about an hour-long activity, and then you have a great prize at the end, so you definitely want to try that and figure that out when you get here.
Absolutely. And then it all ends, as most 4th of July celebrations do, with fireworks.
Right. We have a beautiful firework display that absolutely lights up our golf course. It starts at 10 o'clock every 4th of July evening, and it is wonderful. It's spectacular. It's about 5 to 8 minutes long, depending, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And I know that you can basically see the fireworks from any spot on property. Where are some of maybe the best places to go check them out?
So the most places, if you are on property, where you would like to go is always around the golf clubhouse. You definitely want to go in that area, and then right behind the golf clubhouse, there's a little road that goes down to the left. That's definitely where you want to go. Howard's Creek Lodge is another beautiful place to look at, or our outdoor tennis facility.
Well, if you're not convinced yet that you want to be here for 4th of July, make sure you go onto our website and read all about it, because it really is a spectacular time and no better place to celebrate. But before we let you go, I want to touch on a couple of other activities coming up. One actually is going on now as we speak. It's the Fireflies in the West Virginia Skies Week, and something new we came up with this year. But to me, it was a really great idea and a fun event, because what we're trying to do is harken back to some of those days as a child where during the summertime you spent time outside, you made homemade ice cream, you played games on the lawn, you kind of did all those summertime things in West Virginia, including catching fireflies, or lightning bugs as we like to call them here in West Virginia. So the whole weekend is kind of incorporating it on going back to those roots and enjoying the summertime in the Mountain State.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. So, I mean, life is so busy now, the hustle and bustle. You have no time to sit back and breathe. I mean, and when I am relaxing and can think about when I just had, like a really great time, it's in my childhood when you really didn't care about anything. It was just like, when can I get outside? What am I going to do next? And I mean, you played outside till it was dark, until you couldn't see at all. So yes, coming up with fireflies in the Appalachian Mountains was an absolutely wonderful idea. We have firefly catching in the evenings. We have dinners that are incorporated around movies that involve outside and the insect world. And we have tastings, cocktail tastings, mixologies. We have crafts, how to make little bug crafts. We even are making jars, so when the kids do go out and catch their lightning bugs, they have those already made for them. And we're going to do a butterfly release at Howard's Creek Lodge. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And it's really so neat to think about, such an interesting concept. You try, and I know in your job, you try to come up with all these new and exciting events, but when you think about it, some people just want to kind of get back to simplicity, go out and see the stars or catch fireflies or those kind of things, and that appeals to a lot of people for sure.
Right. I think sometimes as an adult, we overcomplicate things or maybe think too much about it. So simplicity was absolutely the goal here, and I think we achieved it quite well.
Absolutely. Then, speaking of the outdoors, another event coming up soon here at the Greenbrier is the inaugural event of the Wild, Wonderful Hunting, Fishing, and Conservation Expo. And again, kind of like we've talked about a couple of times on things here on this podcast, that's probably a podcast unto itself, but just kind of hit the highlights for us of what that event involves.
So the Hunting and Fishing Expo, like you explained, is our inaugural event. It's something that's been true to my heart and Joey Miller's heart for the last 2 years. Holly Jo Gillespie, who is our VP of Sports and Recreation, is behind us 100%. So we have decided that in September 24th through the 26th, we are going to have a Hunting and Fishing Conservation Expo here at the hotel. Not only are you going to be able to walk around in our convention center and look at items that you might want to take out on your next hunting and fishing trip, you're also going to be able to use them. So if it is that Polaris or that gun or that bow that you've been wanting to try, you can do that here during that week. All you have to do is sign up. It's going to be a great event. We're also incorporating our food and beverage world with wild game cook-offs. SIG, as well as Colt, has also partnered with the hotel to have shooting events at that time at our gun club. We've also partnered with Ward Burton Racing with their foundation to do some conservationship. Mossy Oak is going to be one of our leaders as a partner with this event. So it's going to be a wonderful thing for Southern West Virginia and our surrounding communities.
It really is amazing when you think about it. A lot of people are familiar, if you're into the outdoor world, of going to some big convention center somewhere and going to an expo like this, but those convention centers don't have these 11,000 acres that we have behind us.
No, that is another podcast in itself. We are just surrounded by beautiful property that we are able to use, and why not take advantage of it and do it and show that everyone what the Greenbrier has to offer.
And speaking of several of these events, it kind of brings together a theme, I think, is that the Greenbrier is really making an effort to embrace the things that make West Virginia special. When you talk about the fireflies in the West Virginia skies and getting out into those summertime nights and seeing the stars, which you can't always do in the city, and something that makes West Virginia special there. And then the outdoor world. I mean, those things, hunting, fishing, off-road driving, those kind of things are popular in West Virginia, and the Greenbrier has really embraced those. And a lot of people think of the Greenbrier as a kind of a showpiece of West Virginia, and these activities are really showcasing what makes West Virginia, as well as the farm to table dinners we're talking about,
Absolutely.
showcasing some of the local cuisine. So you really do get a feel of what West Virginia is all about when you come visit the Greenbrier.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that this is the direction that we're going in. The Greenbrier is a beautiful place. We have a lot to offer here, and I am proud of where I work and where I'm from, and I'm so thankful that I have this opportunity to help our resort go in this direction to showcase how beautiful West Virginia is.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate you giving us some insight into some of those things. But before we let you go, we always try to learn a little bit more about our guests, especially team members here at the Greenbrier, of what makes the Greenbrier special to them. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire type questions if you can kind of give me your answers, and we'll start.
Sure.
We'll start with the restaurant. What's your favorite restaurant here at the Greenbrier?
Prime 44.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. The lobster mashed potatoes are the best.
You really can't beat the lobster mashed
No,
potatoes. I'm
you
going to have to
can't.
agree with you there. Well, that was my second question, so we'll take it off the table. But aside from the lobster mashed potatoes, what's your favorite thing to eat inside the Greenbrier?
Oh gosh, it's the chocolate covered strawberries, without a doubt. I know that it doesn't incorporate with Prime, but our candy shop, you can't beat our candy shop at the end of the shop corridor. They're the best.
The candy maker down there at the shop corridor. If you didn't see the episode a couple weeks ago, I believe it was episode 8 with Cheryl Gum, make sure you check that out and learn a little bit more about the candy shop. But it is a fantastic place to eat. We'll go with your favorite activity now. What's your favorite activity at the Greenbrier?
Oh, it's horseback riding.
Okay.
It's horseback riding.
And what's, for people who may not know, where's the best place to go? What do you get to see when you go horseback riding at the Greenbrier?
Oh my goodness, you get to see our golf course, you get to see our trails, you get to see spots of the sporting club that you wouldn't typically get to see. And you know what really makes it interesting is when you talk to the guides or the individuals who are running these activities who have worked here for quite some time, they have so much history and knowledge of where the hotel was, where we're going, and what we're shooting for. That's what I think is interesting about it.
That truly is amazing. And our last rapid fire question, your favorite room. It can be a guest room, a public space. What's your favorite overall room here at the Greenbrier?
It's the North Parlor. It is the North Parlor. I am so captivated by our beautiful portrait of Grace Kelly. She was such an immaculate woman, and what she did kind of embraces the American dream. And the second thing I love about the parlor is the color of the room.
I think that's a great choice. And the third thing you maybe didn't even mention is on a nice day, you can slip on out on the porch as well. So
Yes, you can. The terrace is absolutely gorgeous, and the views are breathtaking.
Yeah, I think you had great choices. I think I have to agree with almost all of those. Those were
Thank you very
fantastic.
much.
Well, we thank you for joining us. Hope everybody comes out and joins us for the 4th of July or any time in the summer or any time that you want to visit the Greenbrier. But as you can see, there's some great activities going on. Come see what's going on. Come embrace some of the activities that make West Virginia special and enjoy your trip to the Greenbrier. I hope you're enjoying the Brierchat podcast. If you would, leave us some feedback on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you find it. Let us know what you think. Let us know maybe some topics you want to see going forward, and we'll do our best to bring it to you. Every Monday, a new episode comes out. But until then, we'll see you at the Greenbrier.
Take care, everybody.